Fnatic now taking on none other than Na'Vi. The Swedes are looking in top shape. It's time to see if they can replicate their offline performances here in France. Up against them is Na'Vi, a team in turmoil, but a team that's actually been body bagging and fragging as of late online. The question is, can they do it now in the offline environment now, all face-to-face once again after what was a rather dramatic time for Na'Vi? Now, fortunately, I don't have to tell this story on my own because there is so much to be discussed. I'm joined by two very recognizable faces. In fact, I actually dream about doing desks with them when I'm not doing desks with them.
Really?
That's how often we do desks
together. Was that
together.
last night?
Night before.
Okay.
I dreamt that I was doing a desk segment, but I didn't know what the teams were playing, and you guys never actually said the team names. So it was just, I was sitting there like, I have to say it at some point.
It wasn't a dream, it was last week with Pro League.
Pretty much, actually. Yeah, hang on a second. It was a nightmare and it was reality. No, Chad Birchall and Janko Paunovic, great to have them with us. So let's bring up the group and let's start talking about this series, because Fnatic and Na'Vi have actually looked good, Janko. I mean, we to the point now where not only do they start their group off well, they do it convincingly. A 2-16-4s. That group flew by yesterday.
Yeah, as you can see, two very dominant results for them, but in reality, Fnatic was playing Tai Lu, and Renegades, they are a better team, but perhaps yesterday just, couldn't get into that game versus Na'Vi, two best-of-1. So this game here is going to be a good one to gauge where these two teams are, because they've both been pretty up and down recently.
Yeah, an indicator, if you will.
Yeah, but we've been saying that for everyone in this tournament, so I guess we can only look at the most recent results from this year, and Fnatic won IEM Katowice by beating FaZe in a best-of-5.
They did do that.
With names like Flusher rolling back the years and putting up some fantastic clutch performances. And then you have Na'Vi, they won DreamHack Winter last year. They've slowly been rolling in the right direction, but I have been very critical of this team, but at least in the last, I guess, week, things have been looking better. Zeus has been, contributing a lot. The T-sides are looking better. Simple, of course, we talk about him more than anyone else in the entire world.
We'll talk about him later. I'm sure we will. Let's not blow our load too soon with Simple. Now, what is Simple actually is that, Chad, when you aren't standing at this desk, you've been doing other things. I haven't seen you in the green room once. You've been running around. You've been doing something for, what's it called? DreamHack Live?
Snipe, right?
That's right,
yeah. Yeah, if you want to check it out, Alex, you head over to dreamhack.com/digitalpass to get all the behind-the-scenes actions. I'm doing some interviews with some players. Yeah, having chats, talking about Counter-Strike, some behind-the-scenes other stuff, like the stage and.
Yeah. Oh, you did the stage.
Well, I'm building it.
You're building it yourself
as well.
That's what that hammering sound was. Chad was sitting there like, guys, I've been a plumber for years. I know what to do.
I forget if I'm South African, Australian,
It's a bit of everything.
It was pretty good.
We need to work on these accents.
Yeah, look, over the course of the years to come, eventually I'll actually get an accent right. Apart from British, I'm pretty good. I'm okay at that one.
We even had a debate about that last night. So.
Do you know what I'd like to have a discussion about? Not my accents, Janko. I'd like to talk about maps.
Accents?
No, you love your accents. You do so many of them. I think Inferno has been such an intriguing point for discussion for me. Does it pop up again here?
Absolutely. It's just a question of who will pick it, right? Whether it's going to be Na'Vi or Fnatic. I think maybe the team that picks second will do it, because the team that picks first may think, okay, if we don't pick it, they're going to pick it for sure, so we might, get away with picking something else and still getting Inferno. That's going to be an interesting dynamic. Vetoes are set, Nuke for Fnatic, Cash for Na'Vi, so after that, depending on the order of the teams, who picks what, that's where the second pick will differ. Just
before it's revealed, Chad, is there anything else you want to add to that? You got insta-bans, so I guess...
Janko's nailed it. He's covered it all.
Well,
yeah, I don't think we'll see anything too outside of the box here.
Okay, well, I think there's a time limit on when that veto can be revealed, so there it is.
For Na'Vi, if they pick, first, they might go for Train and then hope for Fnatic to pick Inferno. That might be a chance.
Inferno, they go for Cobblestone. Fnatic pulling Cobble on Na'Vi.
So Na'Vi don't decide to gamble it at all. We just want Inferno and that's it. And Cobble is a good pick for Fnatic, because Na'Vi has been looking pretty weak on the map lately. It's been, back when Zeus was in the team first time around, it was one of their stronger maps. But with this lineup, for some reason, it just doesn't seem to work. And with Overpass as a decider, it's an interesting one, because you would think, Fnatic doesn't really play it all that often, but they had some good results online, beating FaZe, also in Katowice beating FaZe, so maybe they feel like, actually this map might be good for us, so let's put in some more work.
But the fact that they had a choice between Overpass, as you've outlined, and Train, which I swear every time I talk to you about Train, you suggest Fnatic have got some strengths.
You have to think about that game that we saw at IEM Katowice where Flusher pulled out those massive rounds, right? That was FaZe's map to lose, and hey, once again, they lost it. So Fnatic, sure, they played fantastically, and the individuals did really well. That man on your screen there, Flusher, influential. Crims is one of those guys who, I guess he is the hard carry for this team most consistently. Lekro's fallen into that 3rd star spot, and then JW, obviously sporadic, does have the ability to get those opening kills. Put a lot of pressure on, and Golden with a CZ on overpass, Alex. I don't know how many times we've seen that in the last couple of weeks, but this guy, that seems to be spot.
So this is my problem with the guys you're about to walk through now. Lekro, as you've outlined, is starting to find his feet as that star, or the backup star to the other big names in Fnatic, is that their style is completely and totally unique. Every single one of these players has managed to find a way to work within the Fnatic system, at least intermittently, Chad.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that is the strengths of these kind of players. The JW one is the biggest question mark. A lot of people probably look at his playstyle as a liability from time to time because he is very aggressive. And back in the day when people were still cottoning onto his techniques, his little moves, it worked. And sure, he had the CZ with the insta draw, and it was a really good sidearm, and that was prolific at the time. But now I think you need to look at him as if he's on point and he's finding kills, Fnatic can steamroll anybody. When
he has space, he is terrifying. The amount of times we've seen, you know, there'll be a round, and I think whoever is in the green room with me, look how much space he's taking. He just seems to have a very good understanding of it.
He was fur before fur was fur.
He was fur before fur was fur, and that's fur. Fair. Fur. All right. Cool. Perfect.
I think for him, it's not just, you know, you give him space. He just takes space. He creates it. That's JW. Sometimes he might not always, and that's even in the old lineup. He didn't necessarily always get a kill, but just with such aggression, he would create so much space for the rest of the team and give them so much information that even that was enough to put Fnatic in an advantageous position.
Yeah, sometimes their style does look simple, but so does this team. It is indeed Na'Vi. Take a look at this one. Flamey, Electronic, Zeus, Edward, and not forgetting Mr. Complex.
This is the thing. I don't know in the last 4 weeks if we've managed to do a death segment where we haven't said simple as like the main.
It's actually really hard to do. Do you remember the previous segment we were working together, and I was like, let's try and do a whole segment not talking about simple when we're talking about Na'Vi, and we lasted about 60 seconds.
On simple as, hey, simple can kill everybody in the server all times. This kid is an absolute god. I don't think there's any other way to put it, right? We can't overstate it or understate it. The thing is, this guy is, I think, mechanically right now, and with the numbers he's putting up consistently, the best player in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been in tremendous form, but unfortunately, it's about his team winning, right? And it can't be enough at this level of CS for him to do it by himself time and time again. So you look towards the team and you wonder, you know, what's wrong? How do we get guys like Electronic to play on a higher level? Yes, in the last maybe week or 2 weeks, he has been playing much better, but that added to all the shuffle drama about, you know, him and Flamey moving to SK or not. You wonder, like, you don't see how those underlying issues within the team can be solved.
This is what I mean. This is the conversation that we think we have to have. The man on your screen as well. SK saw something in him. What are we missing?
Well, they saw a way to get simple. I think that's it.
Touche.
Look, I think, you know, we have to look at the other end of the spectrum, right? Yanko's talking about, you know, simple being, well, I mentioned simple being fantastic, and then we have everyone else kind of lagging behind. But Zeus is the one that stands out. Obviously, we expected him to bring structured T-sides back into the equation and that old school Na'Vi way. It hasn't been that way ever since he's been out of the Gambit roster. Now, this first map of Inferno is the one where he looks the most comfortable. Him and Electronic over towards that A bomb site with the crossfires that they're able to establish. Zeus actually has a lot of impact, right? This is where he shines. This is where you're expecting Zeus to be able to get a lot done. And I think that plays a lot into the pick, because if you're the in-game leader, you can start strong, you can go to a map that you know that you can frag on. It's positive signs moving forward, and moving into the second map, you can carry that momentum, etc., etc.
So let's start thinking about those maps and wrap them into our predictions. Yanko, remind me of the map pool. We had very clear bans. And
Inferno, Cobble, and Overpass.
Right, so that's right. The question was, who's going to take Inferno? Na'Vi were just like, just give it to us. We're not going to play any games.
Yeah, and I think when you look at that, that gives Fnatic the edge, because I'm leaning heavily towards them on Overpass, and Inferno is a good map for both teams. I think this is going to be a quite messy game of Counter-Strike. You know, Fnatic recently, the way they've been winning games, have been, you know, making it awkward a little bit in some of the fights, and, you know, not that many set strategies that are clean and so forth. A lot of force buying going around and everything, and that's obviously very inconsistent, and Na'Vi hasn't been much better either.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing some 2 smokes and a flashbang and a CZ rounds.
And they make it work time and time again. It's astonishing the amount of rounds that Fnatic can actually pull out of their back pocket that you don't expect them to. And you have to put that down to the fact that 3 of these guys have won major titles together, and they have chemistry like no one else. They can play in these mid-rounds fantastically well. They capitalize on each other's positioning, and I think there's a lot of unspoken moves that happen within this team, because if you sit there and you just watch them, their communication, especially with all Swedes, it's not crazy.
It's minimal.
Yeah, it's some of the least I've seen, and that's kind of good because it's clear. I guess there's, the inflections in their voice when you know it's a rush and things like that, but Fnatic are a type of team who I think they rely a lot on that teamwork side of things and pulling out rounds when others are making mistakes. But Inferno, for me, I reckon they're the best mid-round team on the T side out of everybody in the world. I think when they're in 4v5s, they're still able to get into the bomb site, get the bomb down, and make rounds very competitive.
So I'm taking that as a Fnatic prediction.
Yeah, Fnatic 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, nice quick one.
Giving Na'Vi some sort of hope on Inferno?
I already said Fnatic, but an interesting dynamic on Inferno is going to be Simple in Banana, and Na'Vi trying to leave him alone and play 4A, and Flasha, who dabbles in Banana on T side by his own and tries to deny that control. So I think a lot of the rounds might even be decided in those early stages and who wins those fights.
Absolutely, and we can actually just... Oh, I need to do mine, don't I? I was about to say, let's have a look at yours. I guess we have to look at mine.
We showed you first, Alex.
Yeah, Fnatic.
Remember what happened when you agreed with us?
I know, that was the one time I decided to break my pattern. Yeah, I'll go for Fnatic as well. I'm going to jump on the Swedish hype train, just because if you looked at the evidence and if you forgot about the whole streaky Fnatic element and the fact that they can win a tournament and then get grouped, if you forget about that, statistically and in the way they've been playing, Fnatic should take this one convincingly, especially considering I don't know how Na'Vi... how are Na'Vi still at events and succeeding?
But knowing Counter-Strike, Alex, after all you just said, you should have picked Na'Vi.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right? Everything points towards Fnatic. Surely that means Na'Vi wins.
I actually think it's going to be a close one. I know I said it's going to be a 2-0, but I think it's going to be 2 very close maps.
Yes,
I think, you know, we have the potential for... I think Simple is obviously going to play well, and Electronic and Flamey are fantastic as well. I think it's going to be a very good game, but I just think Fnatic 2-0.
I'm so up for that. Another very good game. We've been treated to a whole lot today. It's just our second day of the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Marseille. Let's see what you guys said. Marseille. That didn't work. Fnatic. Oh my goodness, that's not real. Is there a bug in the system?
Maybe.
2 people voted.
Well, Anders was
it's real. I've just had confirmation.
Aliens, so.
Well, okay, so to the however many, the direct 50% of you that are going for Fnatic, good luck. And to the 50% of you that are going for Na'Vi, start fighting in the chat. Kappa's for Fnatic, Keepos for the other team, Na'Vi. All right, there we go. That's how good my brain is. It's a goldfish. Let's head over to 2 people who can at least remember their own names. Gentlemen.
It's Vince and Vinegar, Henry Honey here. We've got a new brand.
I love it. Oh, it's like an 80s news team.
Yeah, it's going well, yeah. Well, we're kind of remembering the team names as well. Na'Vi and Fnatic. It's going to be a lot of fun.
There you go.
I think this will be a lot of fun just because I think this is actually Na'Vi's best map they have in the pool right now. Some of their best results come on this one. I've been going the practice rooms each night to see who's like kind of grinding it out, and Simple's been there till like 2 in the morning every single night, grinding out FPL and Deathmatch. I want to see what he's going to be bringing to this particular best of 3. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it will go 3 maps, but I have got Fnatic to take it in the end.
Okay. Well, Vince, I'm going to let you tell us exactly who you think's taking this, but we're going to dash.
Cheers, Alex. Yeah, I think I'll go alongside that. I do see this going to all 3 maps. I don't think it's going to be a stomp either way.
Sure.
Obviously, we said that yesterday, and we got 3 quick maps of Counter-Strike.
That's forgotten now, Vince. We're moving on to today.
Okay.
This is about epic Counter-Strike. When the best of 3s begin, that's when the hype is delivered. And it will be Na'Vi starting on the CT side. I can confirm that. It's nice to see Inferno in the first map of best of 3. Normally it's the decider. I think it's the best map to watch right now in terms of strategy and overall skill on the map. Like, it seems like it's the map where most of the teams are very well versed on it and happy to play it. Got tons of strategies and fakes, and there's lots of different approaches. Great aggression available on the CT side. It's not like one of those maps like Cobblestone, for example, where you're kind of stuck in your formation. You can kind of mix things up. You can't really challenge any points of the map. So this is why Inferno's my favorite to cast right now, especially with players like that man on the screen right now. Simple, undeniably one of the most talented players in the entirety of the game right now. Like I said, I'm hyped. He is grinding CS right now. He wants to prove that this team still can get to finals, to semi-finals. We'll see if he can do that today, as we'll be underway very shortly. I can see them chatting on the server right now. We actually have the feeds directly today, Vince. I can actually bring you live chat and everything. It looks like they're getting ready to go. So you've got Fnatic to go, and you think 3 maps as well?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one in the first map. I actually think Yanko brilliantly highlighted for me where the key area is going to be, which is Banana. Simple against Flusher. This is going to be an epic battle, and I think whichever of those two gets the better of it, that could potentially sway the entire map for their side. The fact of the matter is that Simple, the reason why everyone touts and heralds him as one of the best players, if not the best in the world, is he's got the stats, he's got the numbers to back it up.
Yes.
Last time they played it against Astralis, which was just a couple weeks ago, Simple drops over 30 kills, of course. And then Zeus, interestingly, is second top kills with 25.
Well, there we go. Hopefully, if Zeus turns up today, maybe we could be on to something. Ladies and gentlemen, Na'Vi versus Fnatic, the third best of 3 of the day. We'll have a look at the buys and see if we can work out where this one is heading. Only one smoke suggests we're going towards the A side eventually. They'll go for initial Banana control here and challenge Zeus at the very start. No real damage inflicted just yet. Zeus does spot a couple of them, and he'll fall back and join his teammate, Simple, who is waiting at the coffins right now. So the reason they can't really go towards Bananas, you do need 2 smokes. Technically, you need one towards the coffins, 1 CD spawn. If you went without both of those smokes, it can be very problematic. So I assume this one smoke will be used towards the library side, just in front of it to block off any vision from rotating players from the arch, then splitting towards quad and the apartments, and here comes that first play towards middle. JW looking to take down Flamer, but he smartly falls back. That's a smoke I was referencing, as Edward will be getting the first kill here. Can he find any more? No, Lekro takes him down. It's up to Zeus to find kills through the smoke, and he gets 2.
That's just ridiculous. Lekro and Crims finally get Edward down, thinking, okay, all systems go, let's take control of Arches. Just popped straight through the smoke. And just like that, 2-on-4 with Fnatic, with Flusher and Gold, and they at least have control of the bomb. It hasn't been dropped out into Arches, and it's going to give them a little glimmer of hope. It's Simple, lurking, waiting in the shadows to strike, and strike he shall with a double.
Oh. Well, there it is. Simple. Always going to be a safe pair of hands towards the B-bomb site, even by himself there. For Zeus, certainly the hero of that round. It's not the flashiest skills in terms of raw skill, but 2 of them coming through the smoke. Good awareness as to what they're bringing to the table, and that pretty much wins the round single-handedly. Simple getting both kills, of course, getting himself warmed up 2-0. He'll bring out the M4A4, the only one available on the CT side here. Going to have FAMASs and 3 SMGs available there, and they've got a plethora of utility. Incendiary smokes and flashbangs available. In terms of the Fnatic purchases here, no bomb went down, so they will indeed be bringing out those CZs. 1 Deagle for Lekro, no surprise. His Deagle is disgusting, Vince.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best players with the Deagle, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
Not too far behind the likes of Simple and Nico.
Dupree maybe up there?
Yeah, Dupree certainly in with a shout. We'll have to see if he can land any headshots, any one-taps. Aggressive play by Na'Vi, posting 2 players down in Banana. We'll see Edward down up close and personal with his MP7. 30 bullets to utilize if he's pressed. But it's actually going to be Fnatic here, Henry, taking control over mid, just trying to get some information for themselves. They still have a HE and a flashbang to use.
Towards middle they will head. Lekro needs to try and open things up. Certainly possible. Spots one a library. Can't find the insta-kill. Actually gets dinked in response. Simple with 2. Should be enough to win the round at this point, considering the damage inflicted towards Lekro. Crims taking a nade in the face. Flaming starting to peel off from B as well. You can see him rotating in CT spawn, knowing that Arch is vulnerable right now. 30 seconds remaining. I don't think a plan is coming out of this one.
Be very surprising, wouldn't it? Especially as Flamey should have the drop of multiple players with his MP9, able to get 2. Money in the bank as far as he's concerned. And sure, Crims is able to get the return frag, but MP9 through onto the next round would not be ideal for Fnatic. M4, however, would be a decent upgrade, but it's unlikely they'll allow him to stay alive.
The problem is, even if he says that M4, it means he gets no cash into the next round, unfortunately. So it's actually more beneficial to keep his money on par with the rest of the team. 1 M4 with Glocks around you won't really do that much for you, unfortunately, unless they somehow got a plant out of it. But it'll go down regardless, so we don't need to follow that thread too deeply. As Crims and co looking a little bit agitated, but 2-0, they are going to take the full eco now. I think maybe a couple of P250s at most. Just 1, in fact. No armor, no nades. One of those rounds as the bomb gets planted, Vince. It's an absolute miracle. You usually want to wait for nades, Banana. Then to go up there as a 5. You can trade 1 kill, sneak a plant, and that'd be great. Zeus gets tagged up at the very start. I think that was from Crims' Glock at very long range, in fact. So doesn't do too much damage. Just 30 at that sort of range. Quite good, all things considered, with a Glock. And now let us be asserting their dominance towards the B side of the map. Edward getting in towards logs. Simple. It is quite a tricky jump to get on the half. We'll probably nail it this time. Oh, no. Couple of goes. 3rd time's a charm. There we go. And it's a very strong position. It's good for getting 1 kill, dropping off and baiting in Edward, who's in those logs.
Exactly. Almost a perfect setup for Na'Vi. Don't really need to go peeking. Flamey is going to go looking with his MP9. the expendable weapon. If he loses this, no problems. Can come through into the next one with an M4. Headshot will be a nice juicy bonus on top with the kill reward. Edward, in the meanwhile, is going to get smoked onto the T-steps. Gets dinked through the smoke, but due to it being a Glock, it's not going to be able to finalize the kill just yet. Flamey with another one. And as expected, as anticipated, Fnatic really not getting much out of this. A kill, probably more than you'd expect anyway.
Yeah, just getting one kill, that takes money out of the hands of Na'Vi. Doesn't really help them out too much in terms of Fnatic, but at least keeps them relatively modest. You know, that's the best it's ever really going to get. No AWP available for Fnatic. That's not a massive deal on this team whatsoever. They're all very capable, the AKs. No plants at all there. So money going to be a little bit tight. They had about $4,500 per player. Still enough for the AKs, the smokes, a couple of Molotovs thrown into the mix as well, mainly focusing on the flashbangs. And we'll get into the first gun round here. Simple, of course, does bring out the big green gun facing towards middle. Don't usually commit towards the T-steps orbits, but he does look towards the underpass at least. Gets flashed off, and he'll fall back to a more defensive line. Here's Golden joining, I assume, Flush Up in the duties of taking the B side of the map. Molotov's off for now. This is just waiting until they can start nading the corner and try and get that full control going.
Simple now going to sweep himself over to B, trades places with Flamey.
Yeah, this is... we talked about this extensively with Device, right, on these particular maps. Simple, also very good at dictating the pace and choosing his positions and changing things up pretty much, not even every single round. Every 30 seconds, he's a different part of the map. Just trying to funnel them to wherever he wants them to go. So he'll be back towards B this time. He's swapped out with Flamey. We'll see whether he can get this first pick. Smoke's actually horrendous. Fnatic might not be aware how bad that smoke is. They bounce it around the corner. That's not doing anything for them. He's got full vision from CT spawn. They think they're probably covered. One run boosts across, and that's actually worked out quite nicely for them. Now they know the smoke isn't ideal. And at this point, Edward boosted up, MP9 in hand. JW holding towards middle there. It looks like they'll finish up towards B. They could execute still. They have plenty of smokes, only one flash though, Vince, and that's a bit of a problem. The smokes have to be spot on here to really shut down Simple. They know he's got the AWP. Do they smoke towards back right, for example, just to kind of eradicate some risk, considering they don't have all the flashes they need? Time will tell.
Edward still perched up with his MP7, able to graze the head off of Golden and Lekro. Buying up enough time, only 10 seconds, and although Simple's been smoked out, if only has to strike one time, and that should be the end of the round. However, bomb now planted. Rest of Na'Vi need to move into position. They themselves don't have much utility. Only a flashbang left on Simple, who's being tagged up through the window, down to just 15 health. JW playing up close and personal with his AK. Is going to be looking to rattle out some heads. There's one, and a second, not able to trade across to the third. That leaves Crimson a 1 and 2, not able to get his double spray down. We'll see Na'Vi get the successful bomb defuse.
Great work from Edward there, I have to say. The MP9 usage, I didn't think it'd be good for more than one kill. He gets a second, dinks a third. That was fantastic by him. The fact he's using that particular weapon, that's technically a bonus round. They got the 3-0. He's carrying on the SMG from those anti-eco rounds. Simple, you'd expect him to get a plethora of kills there, but it wasn't even the case. It was Edward that carried the round and came down right to the wire. I'll say that. The fact that Electronic had to win it out 1 versus 1 is a nice setup from Fnatic to even try and win that round. It looks like they will be forcing, or not so much, it'll be a partial buy, I should say. They've still got about $1,500 per player. And looking to get that maximum loss bonus next round. So that does make a lot of sense. Crims goes with the SMG, but Simple waiting for the get going with the AWP. There we go. Takes out Lekro. Moves back. He's got his teammate in towards that boiler. That'll be Zeus just to make sure no one's chasing him down. Good stuff so far from Na'Vi. This is looking very good for them. No one has to overcommit at this point. Simple. Missed shot there, but that's still fine. Can maintain the advantage, and you can see him going for those impressive flick shots, not connecting just yet.
Zeus has managed to maneuver his way to try and help his brother out. Now Simple watching the tight angle at Molotov, perfectly timed. The downside, though, is they're going to charge straight through, and Edward actually burns himself alive. Pretty awkward, but Na'Vi will maintain the player advantage. JW picks up an AWP, and Golden gets put down with authority. JW from Library. Is he able to somehow pull off an unreal clutch, especially considering the bomb is way over on B site and he's miles away?
Well, there we go. Just a note, because Edward had an SMG there, it randomly allocates a player on the opposite team to get the kill reward for whatever weapon he had, I think. So he gave over $600 to the T's just for being dropped at that point. So this is a nice little note. That was an update, I think, that was brought in about a year and a half ago. A bit of a weird one, but coming to the forefront today, we're going to see JW potentially save this all. That'd make a lot of sense at this point. He's in the apartments AWP on his back, CZ in his pocket as well. There's a smoke, he's already got armor. Definitely worth the save. He won't get any money for this particular round, but he still has 2,500 residual cash. And he probably doesn't drop anything, but it means the AWPer does manage to keep his money stronger than it would be. So it's definitely worth saving here. 5 seconds to do so. He's got no one around him. Absolutely fine. A little bit awkward. I think the Edward idea of dropping the incendiary or the Molotov, whatever it was very clever, but obviously got very awkward very quickly as soon as they ran him down.
Especially seeing as he had Simple, who was actually watching his back, and because of the AWP, obviously the bolt action aspect of that, you can't just spray. You can't have Edward's back covered by hailing down with the M4A4. Hence the burning alive that Edward suffered. However, Na'Vi maintain their winning ways. 5-0 start, off to a phenomenal early stage. And as you say, JW's going to hold on to the AWP, going to put AKs behind it. One of the better buys that we've seen for Fnatic so far.
Yeah, no SMGs anymore, even on the CT side. Everyone fully equipped. CT's actually running a little bit lower than I expected, hovering around the 2.5K mark, but 5-0 up. Going very well so far. Like we said in the pre-game, this is considered one of Na'Vi's absolute best maps. And they get a lot of upset victories on this one, notably a Star Ladder. And they managed to get to the grand finals. Lots of Inferno played there. We'll get into round number 6 here. The AWP of JW goes towards the end of the apartments here. Made redundant, unfortunately, there. With the smoke coming down, he doesn't even want to fire a bullet. Doesn't even want to know he's in that position. Flamey flushed out, and it's going to be Zeus and Electronico making up for it. Lots of kills being exchanged here. Golden getting a double. 3 on 2. Edward has to find kills here. JW's got the AWP. This is not ideal. They're coming around with nades in their hand. Double kill for him. This is an absolute disaster for Fnatic. It was looking so good, Vince. They had everything going in their favor, but the AWP, the grenade in their hand, it all came to this point. Great job by Flusher, though, to preempt that. Brings it into the 1 versus 1, but look who he's up against. It's Simple. AWP in hand, and he knows exactly where he is, and he's not hitting as many shots as you would expect today. A few misses from him. That's normally his bread and butter, that sort of range. He'll have an incendiary, a smoke, flashbangs, only the AWP there. If he could find a rifle, that would be ideal. It doesn't look like Simple can do this. I'm not sure. Flusher comes up, starts spamming things. It's getting awkward for both sides here.
Oh, he's got it, has he? Oh my God.
That's so sick, and he gets the kill as well against Flusher. There's 2 very similar players in terms of their playing character, you know what I mean? Like, both very cheeky, both doing things like that, going for full defuses, knives. And that's quite cool to see Simple come out on top, even after missing a couple of shots. 6-0, Vince, and this one's just getting started, but it feels.
You could see the expression on Fnatic that they knew that had to be their round.
Yeah. As soon as you start fully committing with the spray there, you crouch and you like do 20 bullets, you know you're done for. You're just like, oh, there's so much smoke, there's so many flashes going off. I haven't done any damage, and he's probably defusing.
Especially rough, considering that Simple had a shot just after Flusher got the plant. He missed it.
Yeah.
And from that point, you think, okay, Flusher, this is yours 9 out of 10 times.
Absolutely.
Not the case. The defuse in the smoke.
Yeah, that's the Simple having all that utility to work with there. Drops the incendiary, the smoke on the bombs got very awkward very quickly. Still, another buy available. Fnatic riding the maximum loss bonus and the bomb being planted, of course. They'll have the AWP out again for JW. That round felt like it was theirs after the double kill from Golden. That was it. Edward found 2. Simple to close it out. If they can just break down one of these rounds, they'll force Na'Vi onto an eco, or at least a force buy. Lots of 1v1 so far. Looking like we're heading towards B this time. There will just be Crims holding middle right now. Simple looking for the boost behind that smoke. That won't be happening just yet. One player about to cross over. That's JW. AWP looking for any gap in the smoke. He might be able to get one here slightly, but no one there. CT's perfectly timed smoke. That's actually godlike, considering it's 30 seconds. Unfortunately, it wasn't thrown perfectly, and JW will get the first kill. That smoke was actually pretty poor in the end.
Right timing, wrong place. Simple will find out firsthand. Head gets perforated. However, Edward's playing so patiently. He finally gives his position away. He's able to get 2, 1 through the smoke. That's ridiculous, and a 3rd to add. Oh my goodness, Edward may have just done this single-handedly. 3 kills, 12 seconds to play with. He's picked up a 4th. He's even on for the ace. Electronic's going to take it away. But what a ridiculous solo effort by Edward.
Edward's been in a bit of a slump as of the latest months recently as well, and I haven't seen this sort of play, that intellectual counter-strike coming forward, just biding his time as well. He's got players in front of him, there's all these smokes down. He plays the absolute best position he can, and look how smart this is as well. He doesn't overcommit, he knows the time is low, waits for them to run towards towards him. This kill was everything, and his teammates can finish things off from spawn. 4 for Edward. He's playing out of his mind right now as Na'Vi find 7-0. Fnatic, no plant there, and there's only so far the lost bonus will take you. You need to be getting plants over to continuously buy. They might have to take a partial here, and the young in-game leader on your screen right now, Golden, they'll have to think of how they can do something with the Deagles and the CZs here. What a perfect game from Na'Vi so far.
This is going to be so heartbreaking for Fnatic too, because in the last 4 rounds, 3 of them have came down to clutches. 1v1s, 2v1s. That on another day, had they have won, we'd be in a completely different situation, like a 4-3 scoreline.
Their general approach is good. They're getting the kills, they're getting to the bomb sites, but all of a sudden, it's this one thing that goes horribly wrong for them, and Edward, that's such a fantastic round. Big fan of that. As we get into number 8 here, like we said, Deagle, CZs, and it looks like a B execute considering their utility. Got a couple of Molotovs to go for a full set piece here. You want to be Molotoving first oranges towards the back right, some people call it emo, and then the smoke, of course, towards CD spawn and the coffins here. That's what we expect with the Molotovs purchase. I would say that's almost exactly what will happen. But simple towards CT spawn. We'll see if they can get anything done here, though. The Molotovs coming in. Didn't go for the early smokes, but there they are, doing some damage, flushing to open things up. And now things have become very difficult indeed for Simple. Knowing that they've done damage towards these remaining Ts, that is something, but still, they maintain the man advantage. But surprisingly, they haven't found the rifle from Edward yet. Where is it? Did they kill him in towards Ruins?
I believe so. They haven't been able to get their hands on it. And the downside for Na'Vi is even though they know that Fnatic are on a fairly poor buy and weak, their economy is in no position to sacrifice any of these weapons. They've got to hold on to them.
And they've got a double AWP setup, right, which is an absolute nightmare to retake in these sort of scenarios. It's one of the most notoriously hard bomb sites to get back into once you've lost an opening pick. There's the rifle picked up by Golden, just to know. Once those smokes go down, the flashes, and the bomb's been planted, if your money's low, you're 7-0 up, Vince. You might as well, let's think about the bigger picture here. How are we going to win more rounds? If we all go in and die and it comes down to 1v1, then we lose the round, that's not going to be good enough because Fnatic still win and they're on an eco. Their money's fine. Ours will be ruined. So this makes a lot of sense. Let them have 1 round and then we'll shut it down. We'll reset the loss bonus if we can win the next round here. And Edward, MP7 this time, and we'll see whether it's enough. It was before, certainly, as we go into round number 9 here. All power for JW again. And both teams looking relatively healthy. Have a look if there's any sort of change in pace. Edward seems to think so. Pushing down the banana, MP7 in hand. Gets the kill, picks up the AK. Doesn't look like he's done just yet. Spamming the smoke. Real damage inflicted. Golden takes a little bit, I think, down to 77. He was at the T-steps, and that's such a massive first kill. Not only do you find the 5-on-4, you upgrade your SMG to a gun that can't even be purchased on the CT side.
Completely mixing up the pace. We haven't seen them play anywhere near as aggressively as that, other than maybe the second round where they had SMGs.
Sure.
So to just get right up in the face of Fnatic, have no fear, you could see that notably caught them off guard, and they had no idea what was coming up against them. Now they're trying to take some mid-control to retaliate, but Na'Vi throwing what little remains of their utility. Only a couple flashes with a minute to play with. This could get a bit sketchy for Na'Vi if they misplay.
Zeus alone, he just only has the flashbang. He's on no smoke. I don't like this setup if you've got no utility. You do need either an incendiary and a smoke. He does throw a flash though, bought him a bit of time. You can see the rotations coming through now. I think it's simple on CD spawn, indeed it is. Smoke down, he's going to try and beat it he shall. He takes down Crim. Zeus now set up towards the new boxes. He needs to find at least 1 kill here. If he goes down with nothing, there's still a chance here for Fnatic. There it is, Lekro finds it, and Simple has to wait for rotations before he can do anything with this.
You know you want too simple. You know you want to go for the wall bang.
Oh!
He actually landed it into the legs, right?
I guess so. I didn't see the damage go down. I'll take your word for it, Vince.
I'm doubting myself now, but I'm pretty sure he did hit the leg shot through the wall. Either way, Na'Vi with a player advantage. Do have kits, but JW is going to bring it back to equality, and Lekro takes the equality and flushes it down the toilet. And Na'Vi, they're getting the hell out of there. They can't afford to stick around. Simple, 2 health. All that remains he wants to save, and Fnatic are going to pick up 2 rounds. Nice flick.
Yeah, a bit of a high-risk maneuver from Simple there at 2 HP, but he nails the shot, takes down JW, and like I said, that 1 kill from Zeus, that was a 5-on-3 at that point, Vince. He had the opening kill. Remember, Edward got that, and then all of a sudden, it all fell apart. Edward got picked off, and Zeus had to find 1 kill at the new boxes. It didn't really seem like they were playing off each other too much. So Simple gets the 1 kill. Obviously, he got smoked off. He had to fall back, and then it's down to Zeus to wait for rotations. He peeks, gets taken down by Lekro, and Lekro just carried around at that point. Gets more kills through the smoke. It's a bit unlucky for Edward in that respect. But there we have it. 7-2. That should be the money broken. They did save an AWP for Simple, though, remember. So they'll probably do whatever they can to get into this round. It's actually not looking too bad. I can see CZ on Electronic. Flamey and Zeus do have M4s, no utility whatsoever. This is one of the rounds where Simple has to absolutely go carry mode now. He had to go for the first picks and see what's available at the very start. That's good news for us, though. As spectators, Fnatic finding a couple of rounds of this and getting Na'Vi into position where they're looking uncomfortable. They've got no grenades. They win this round, we've got a game on our hands here.
I think this was based off spawn as well. Simple had a very good spawn to run straight into B with the AWP. So he's going to be having a quick look, as you say, almost forced into playing aggressively. What he knows is very little to back him up. Molotov's going to go down just enough to force Simple out of position. Can't afford to peek the near angle. Lacro straight through, darting through the air. Lands the headshot, but will get traded out instantly by Edward. That being said, though, considering the lack of utility and a 4-on-4, that probably will favor Fnatic. They can now push their aggression over on the B site, which will see Simple by himself, but he gets traded by JW. And just like that, the round pretty much over. Fnatic will be picking up 3 in a row.
There we go. That's what we wanted. Fnatic now should be able to sink their teeth into this first half. It was looking a little bit grim at 7-0, but 3 in a row certainly helps things out. Some good news for Na'Vi, or some silver linings, I guess, is the fact they saved 3 rifles here. And Fnatic focusing on that B-bomb side seems to be where they can find most of their kills. Flamey and Simple going down with nothing. It's just Edward who picked up 1 kill on Lecro. That was it. Flusher actively hunting for any sort of frags he can find just to make sure he completely takes away any sort of cash they've got going into the next round. They'll probably force buy again with 3 rifles saved. 2 maybe not, but with 3 you'd assume they try and emphasize whatever they can. Electronic will find 1. That's fine. Golden can go down. Worth a bit of a sacrifice there. See if you can just find that 1 kill. Their money's okay on the C side, as you can see. So 3 rifles, they've got about $2,500 per player. So Edward Electronic could drop a FAMAS, or even a CZ if they want to be more conservative with it, don't completely wreck the economy overall. Looks like that's all they'll be going for. Simple just with a Deagle here. Wants to make sure he has enough for the AWP going forward. So they're still relatively healthy. This round probably slipped away from them, but 7-4 up and they can bounce back from this. Edward cannot from that. He goes down through the flames. He does get 1 somehow in response from the grave. Drags him down with him.
No idea how.
Yeah, he must have thrown a deep incendiary as he felt that correct, as Flusher does as well. Zeus spamming the smoke again. Must be his 3rd kill through smoke now. 2 in the pistol. 7-3, and Harvey making a convincing case to prove me wrong and show they can win these sort of rounds. Lost the first pick, but making up for it now.
Moving on to the site with Simple and his Desert Eagle perched up in Graveyard. Electronic on the site with his AK-47. This could get dicey for Fnatic. They also don't have the bomb. It's Simple! 2 beautiful, crisp headshots with the Desert Eagle has taken this round away. JW misses. That is the Simple effect.
That's so sick, isn't it? Just so calm. You just felt like the second one was a lock-in. There was no way he was missing it. Like, I was so ready for that. That was insane. First shot, beautiful stuff. But the second, my God, this guy is good. And 8-3 will come in. Na'Vi right back in the game now. AWP on Flamey. Just a note, Simple opting for the AK-47. They've actually got 3 of those on the CT side. This will be the last buy for Fnatic. They can't win this round, but they have got the AWP JW. Seeing if Simple will go very aggressive here towards middle. Edward constantly challenging, and he's just dancing in front of the flames right now, getting very hot feet, as he'll be waiting for the flames to be extinguished. Round number 12. This is actually a lot of fun so far. This is more like it. Sure, the scoreline might be a little bit far away from each other, but the rounds have been super close, and it's exciting to see all these force buys come through, and Fnatic have got as good a chance as any to win this round.
This is something we were actually discussing on the way here. Close games don't necessarily equate to good games to watch. And this has been one of those cases where it's 3-8, but as we said, Fnatic have had 3 or 4 clutch rounds that could have gone their way.
I agree.
In terms of this one, though, it is looking a bit bare bones for Fnatic. They have enough firepower to stamp some mark onto A, but this time Zeus, who was exactly where Simple stood for his beautiful 2-1 digs, is easy pickings. However, they don't expect Electronic there in pit. Perfect timing, pop flash into a peak, not going to be working out for him, but the rest of his team should be able to maneuver into position. That being said, Crims, who's been on fine form lately, is able to put 2 kills together, and now it's down to Simple. Beautiful play in the last round. Can he go one better? Flashbang gonna land in his eyes, and Flusher, the drive-by UMP headshot.
Yeah, there we go. Capitalizing on the fact they threw the flashbang out. They know they could trade that kill. Simple trying to encroach on their position. Not going to work out, though. Big round from Fnatic, stolen away from Na'Vi. Back and forth we go. This is so good from Crims. He gets 3 kills in total here. And this is the big one, as he manages to find Electronic, who gets himself up on the bike. That was when he managed to completely seal the deal. Shot from Simple, narrowly missing out, looking towards that underpass. Edward surely not challenging again, Vince. Every round he's pushing down there. This is what Chad is pointing out. Flusher challenging Banana every single round, and you can see it's not Simple that's trying to take him down, it's Edward.
Yep.
As they collide every single round. It's been Edward who's getting the majority of the wins, but Simple will get them back in the round at least. Electronic will drop at the very same time. So much skill on the server right now. And this is a guaranteed frag. I fought for Flusher, but Zeus denies it. A site will be open. Bomb down in the apartment zone. Missed shot from Golden. Not known to be an AWPer, but maybe he should be. As he gets one, can't find the no-scope.
Oh, Zeus actually got a 2v1. How is that possible? Lecro should have had the drop on him.
What a round that was. I told you this would be a good game, and this is nuts. Zeus delivering the pain there. We didn't see it from his POV, but it looked like they sort of lined up for him. Have a look. That was actually just really nice from Zeus to control the awareness of the possibility. These rounds are so close. You can see each team trying to break the serve of the other. No one's giving in. No one's taking an eco. As we'll find 5 CZ's armor. And a bit of utility here for Fnatic. They managed to find success towards B before with a very similar buy. Grenades thrown in. Doesn't do any damage. And Zeus will be challenged once again. Can he find the double kill? He can! But that's it. Flusher will take him down eventually, but still in the round. 3-on-3.
For all Zeus's work, it has been counteracted. That being said, Electronic has tipped the scales in Na'Vi's favor. Lecro takes it back into equality once more. Edward again with an MP7. Not the ideal weapon to be using in this situation. Bomb's going to get planted. Lecro going into pit, and his teammate of JW watching library, making sure no one peers through the smoke. Going to throw a second smoke onto Quad. Simple gets boosted up, flicks across to JW.
Oh my god.
A kill that should be going the way of Fnatic. Take nothing away from Simple. That is phenomenal. And now Lecro is going to be sweating bullets as he sits in pit. Is it going to be on? The first part of his spray does connect onto Simple, and the second part will too onto Edward. The game that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, this is so fun to watch. No one giving in as they lock horns every single round. Fnatic steal it away with the CZs that time, and it's going to have to be equal measures from Na'Vi as round number 15 will come through. They'll be down to just the pistols. Again, this is looking so good for the Na'Vi side. They were 7-0 up, but Fnatic are still alive and kicking. As we get to round number 15 here, you can see the SMGs coming out on the T side, trying to mow down one of his over towards middle, and Banana here. Simple not going to be pushing this time. Molotov's coming through. Golden trying to use the close range weaponry there to challenge Edward if he did push once more. Grade will come in. Electronic use that a bit of a veil to spot. He does do some damage towards Lecro, and that's confirmed. They're on pistols at least. And Zeus will be pushing the grenade, makes a lot of noise in doing so. Surely doesn't get this kill, picks it up. Down to 13 HP, and JW will be throwing a grenade. I don't think that will connect as he safely gets in the door, but they've got the opening kill. They couldn't find the weapon. They'll just have to fall back with the man advantage.
Just CZ things. Meanwhile, Flamey waiting. That smoke is going to take away his vision. Although Edward's fine to just charge on himself. Flamey finally gets himself a kill in amongst the action. Traded out instantly. Now Simple to the strike again with a deagle. Edward finishes off with the P250. Unbelievable once again.
This is when Counter-Strike's at its most fun. When everyone's hitting all their shots. It seems like all 10 players are at maximum capacity right now. Everyone is just showing us what's possible in CSGO, even with the lesser weaponry. The CZ, the SMGs, that you're putting on a show, and the pushes are coming in, and it's not clear who's going to be winning it. Back and forth we went there. So many pistol victories, so many force buys, and Na'Vi, sure, they had the 7-0 lead, but they managed to get double digits in the end. I thought there was no chance with the buy they had, but of course it got proven wrong. There's Electronic on your screen, picked up to be another star player along with Simple. They needed someone to kind of pick up the slack after C's was removed. Still trying to come into his own. He has some very, very good games and then some disastrous ones as well. He can have a run of 5 maps and not really doing much, but looks like he's showing up today. Same story for Zeus as well. Been impressed with some of the rounds he's been posting. Some huge impact in terms of the clutches he was winning and shots through the smokes he was finding. But ladies and gentlemen, this one's just getting warmed up. This is the best of 3. We've got a lot of Counter-Strike coming your way today. Fnatic 5, Na'Vi 10. We'll swap things over. It'll be Fnatic on the CT side now. 4 sets of armor, diffuse kit for Golden with 1 smoke. Lots of utility for Na'Vi. This does suggest they'll go towards B, just because they've got that HE grenade. You want to be nading towards the top of the barrels at the very start. That'll be Zeus deploying that. Doesn't really connect, but it does send Flusher packing. They've got the smoke for CT spawn, the 1 for coffins, and that's what we need to get into Banana. We discussed that in the first half. Edward waits in the apartments. He could go for the long con, or he could try and be a diversion. If he goes in first and tries to pull a rotation away from B, that works, but he could also wait for his teammates to go all in towards the B site. He jumps out the apartments and goes to CT spawn to shut down any rotating players.
For the time being, though, it is going to be a slow approach by Na'Vi. Keeping their options open. They still have Electronic, who's perched in Banana, just to make sure none of the CTs push down and get information. Smoke going to be deployed onto Arches. Looks like Core Systems were originally going to be going on A, and they're really trying to fake this out to draw over Golden. It has been successful, but every second they take at this point is 1 second long, where Golden's like, hold on a second, they haven't pulled the trigger yet. Do I go back to B site? He hasn't done it just yet, though. So Na'Vi on the brink of a 1v5 against Flusher on B side, all by himself, flashbang to his eyes. It's going to have to come down to the frags, and it's not going to happen. Flusher gets decapitated, and because of Golden's rotation, the site is all but free.
Here we go then, Vince. Bomb planted, JW rotating in from ruins. He needs to find kills very quickly indeed, and kills he should find. He'll take down Electronic. That was a lovely shot, but didn't get the multi-frag there. Certainly was possible. Golden has to find at least an opening kill, but it looks like this round is going to slip by the wayside for Fnatic. Simple finds yet another of the PG-50. A gun that's coming into its own in pistol rounds. Has the one-tap potential, as Flusher certainly found out towards the coffins. And that's a nice clean round from Na'Vi. Very technical, I have to say. It looked like they were just going for the straight-up B execute there, but really faked towards middle. Pull that rotation over, and that's the entire plan of that operation. Go towards middle, drop the 1 smoke, the same one we saw in the first half, take that rotation from B, then go back. Sure, it's a gamble with the 1 smoke in CT spawn, but if you nailed the shot like Simple did, not going to be a problem whatsoever. 4 spotted from Fnatic now, 11-5. CZ's Deagles, Smokes are going to try and treat this like a gun round, but this is a classic strategy. Contact play towards middle, try and find the opening kill, see what kind of stack is waiting on the other side. Luckily, no real HE stack available from Fnatic, so they can hold here quite comfortably. Edward will pull the trigger towards middle. Smoke's now starting to be deployed.
He'll be doing a really solid job of getting information consistently, but now the smoke is in his face. He's not entirely sure as to what's happening. They can hear a whole bunch of gunfire, but as we can see, you have the benefit of the minimap. The bomb dropped slap bang in the middle. So options still available. However, the fact that Na'Vi don't have anyone in Banana suggests it is going to be an A hit. They want to make sure they're not going to get caught just yet. Now the bomb carry going back to T-steps. Now they want to check this out. Zeus sees that no one's behind them. This could give them the green light. Still 50 seconds to play with. In no great rush. They know they're going to be against CZs. And the Desert Eagle, Simple, takes the head off of Blackcrow. Gets traded out by Crims. And Flusher goes one better. This round very much still up for debate. Just over 30 seconds left on the timer. And now Na'Vi are starting to press in. Now they're getting aggressive, and Flamey's taking heads. Crims and JW fall by the wayside, leaving just Golden and a CZ to clutch.
Well, it was looking quite promising for Fnatic, but Flamey certainly steals that idea away. Golden, CZ might as well go for it. They're going to be full eco next round. We'll see whether there are any frags available. If you can upgrade to an AK, that'd be fantastic. Zeus is low. 1 bullet connected should do it. It's nice and close here. Still can't find the shot, and Zeus, lucky to be alive. You can see him laughing about that one. As we get into the full eco now for Fnatic, should be 13-5. Great performance here. And the overall package is not Simple carrying them every single round now, Vince. It's actually everyone looking pretty decent today.
Absolutely. I mean, Simple has been playing very well, but you've also had Zeus. You know, I mentioned him before. Last time they played this against Astralis, he got 25 kills, just 6 behind Simple's 31, and he's continuing that performance here.
Absolutely right. Full eco push towards middle shouldn't equate to too much. Just a fast round. That's all we're going to see here. 1 kill, about as good as we'll get for that. Sometimes you can use the HE grenades and try and drop a nuke towards T-steps, but it costs a lot of money, obviously, $300 per HE. 13-5. My goodness. I knew Na'Vi would be good at this map, but I thought Fnatic would be at least putting up a fight, but still, this is actually still winnable for Fnatic. The fact they're on the CT side, unfortunately, they've lost both pistols, and the economy was an absolute nightmare in the first half. As you can see, the 3-0, and if they win this round, they're right back in it, but that's easier said than done. You might even get a chance to show us what you're capable of on the CT side, because they force bought in the second round fully. So you can see Golden's on an MP9, Flushes on a UMP. Really not ideal, but they're still winnable. They're going to try and segregate the first player. That's simple. They do that beautifully. Why is he committing so much? That's why 2 kills coming in. Golden does damage to the third as well. And Flusher not going to let him survive. It's getting a little bit awkward now. Can he find the kill? What is going on? Edwards, how have you not killed him?
How is Flusher still alive?
Forget everything you knew about Counter-Strike. This is a new version. I don't know what we're watching. I don't know how Edward doesn't get that kill. We can get that from his POV. I'd love to. That was shocking. One of the most awkward encounters of the entire tournament. We've seen some blunders so far, some big misses, some whiffs. But that one was one of the ages.
That's like legit a play I would do.
Yeah, stuck up, like, boys.
My terrible face at level.
I don't think Flusher could even believe his luck. It's like, he's just like, oh, kill me then, kill me. Okay, if you're not going to.
I guess I'll just get 2 kills then, yeah, why not?
That's insane.
Well, Fnatic are back in it then.
Yeah.
They've started their CT half finally. Took them 3 rounds to get the engines running. Gonna have to hope that all the cogs are turning perfectly. But as you highlighted, Na'Vi, plenty of money in the bank, are able to go through with full AKs. However, if they were to lose this, things would get a little bit interesting on their side. Couple players, decent-ish money. Rest of them flat out broke. JW eats that nade. 43 health, evaporates. Molotov going to be thrown in retaliation. That's going to buy him up a little bit of time now. He can back away. Wanted to make sure he didn't catch a stray headshot on his retreat.
Big round there, especially for Fnatic. Win this one, no money left for Na'Vi. Lose it. Use that any sort of chance you had. He does get the first kill, I believe, through a smoke. That's Edward being dropped. Rough couple of rounds for him. JW needs to deliver here, and he's looking very good indeed. 2 kills coming in. Fnatic, ladies and gentlemen, are right back in Inferno, as it will be 3 kills for him. Shouldn't be any money left now for Na'Vi. They've got 2 players on 5k, but 3 on 2. So what's the play here? Do you try and force it out? You've got this huge lead. If you force it out, that's when you kind of open the window of opportunity a little bit too far for my liking. They will be bringing out the 2 AKs at least. They are indeed forcing into this one, Vince. They're going to bring everything they've got, every dollar spent pretty much. Flamey, let's give himself about $1,000 there, but that's about it. Not going to give Simple the AK. I'd prefer him to have it instead of Zeus, I'll be completely honest. I think most people will agree with me on that one, but we'll see what they can do with it. Simple's deagle is sometimes unbelievable as well. I guess if you think about it, Simple can do more with a deagle than Zeus can. Right. You know, so maybe that does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, Simple with the deagle, we already saw in the first half from Graveyard those beautiful 2 taps. Very capable of turning around in Na'Vi's favor. And Zeus has been playing well. And there we have it. Entry frag onto Golden just as we mentioned it. There's an unbelievable.
Such a good-looking Zeus right now. This is what we've been waiting for months. He's been absent. He's looked average. But this is much better. They'll go towards A now. Lekro's got his work cut out for him. Lots of teams encroaching on his position. There's the Simple deagle. It's all coming together nicely. But JW wants to make sure they at least put up a fight here. Bomb should be planted. It's currently stuck in the pit right now. CT's smoked out, but no plant coming in. Suggests there is a chance for them yet. It's getting kind of awkward now, but they do throw the bomb across, and it will be planted. You can see Crims ready and waiting in the little cubby hole there. Bomb down. They have, of course, got kits. 4 versus 3, but this was the force buy, so the T's have managed to pick up rifles. And indeed, they have armor. Crims needs to find some execution kills here. Molotov towards the side. No one there to receive it. Throw it a bit deeper towards Electronic. That could have been something, but the bomb's pretty far gone now. Wants to play. Are they going to push it any further? They did a save. Looks like they want to at least flirt with the idea of finding kills. Crims rising to the occasion, but Zeus does once again. Double kill for him. Electronic finishes things off with his CZ. And it looks like Na'Vi might have done enough here. There will be one more bite available for Fnatic. They bring up the ult for JW. But something tells me we've got a few more twists and turns yet, Vince. It doesn't seem like it'll be this simple. What a round from Zeus that was. To get the double kill as well. Let's see what this looked like. Sprays one. They did line up for him, but still, you take that to the bank.
Certainly. And he's currently 20-8.
Great game for
Two
him.
behind Simple, who's on 22. And it did seem a little bit like Fnatic in that last round on the retake, almost death by indecision. They didn't really commit to either saving or going for it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It didn't seem like a convincing retake. It didn't look like everyone was on the same page. So they still have money to buy. I guess that was the reason behind it. Just think, well, we can at least give it a go, see if we can get that first pick. Crim's got one. That was the cue to go, but then they ran into the double spray down. Double AWP setup, just a note from Fnatic this round, will be Flusher and JW. Flush is actually very proficient with the AWP, so watch out for that. He's got a very audacious playstyle, I would say is the most correct way to put it. Very flamboyant with the AWP. We'll see whether he can find some kills here. It's going to be Flusher to receive a grenade. Goes to the wall bang, doesn't connect. Does take the nade quite intensely there. 45 damage inflicted as he'll fall back towards the coffins.
Yeah, nade just caressed his face. 45 health. Disintegrates, and now smoke will be put into position to try and stop the oncoming terrorists. Flusher had the right idea, thinking that maybe a player has used that smoke to just go to the left-hand side. Just looking over to see if there's going to be a run boost into play. Second smoke goes down, so the CTs now have utilized both of their smoke grenades on the B side. Once this clears, Na'Vi will be given an opportunity, or maybe not. Flusher takes that away from them. That nade perfectly placed into Electronic. Golden goes walkies through the smoke and will get punished. Brought back down to size. Flusher now, all that stands between Na'Vi and this B plant, and he can't even stop that. He goes out, and so does JW. This round is looking all but over.
I think you might be right there. Legro done for, and that was a very difficult round there. Swarming the B bomb side. Flusher, that's the most nightmare position for the double AWP setup. If you get taken all the way back towards new boxes, unless you hit some very difficult shots, you are absolutely done. You can see all the angles available. Edward positions that perfectly to get a double kill there. What a game he's had as well. He had some shocking moments with that banana encounter, but it is all forgotten now. That was phenomenal stuff, and this could be the last round. Shotguns, CZs, Deagles, but the way the CZ's been performing today, who knows, Vince, it could be just as good as full rifles here.
I do feel bad for Fnatic, man. I feel like they've been playing better than that 7 rounds would suggest.
I think you're absolutely right. There's been so many close rounds and so many unbelievable situations that it's been a very entertaining game. Much better than the one-sided affairs we saw as JW keeps himself in the game so far. Double spray down with the CZ. 5 on 3 now. They've got themselves a couple of rifles, but maybe not for long. Flamey on a rampage as well. Golden gets himself in an awkward position. No bullets left to take down Zeus. 3 on 3. Surely this is where it finishes, but Fnatic want to do everything they can. JW with the AK-47 already got 2 frags to his name and 32 HP.
To be fair, Henry, you called it. They have CZs, and JW goes to task point blank range, using every bullet in the magazine. Yeah, shooting the AK across. Electro could pick it up.
Quite smart.
Making sure that they're all armored too, Henry, so they can try and repel what Na'Vi are hoping is the final round of Inferno.
This is a kill, surely. Oh, Flusher, the timing is just disastrous. My heart bleeds for him. He was so patient. The moment he moves, that's when it all goes wrong. That's Counter-Strike for you. Smoke out towards the arch side. Lecro, pretty much the last chance at this point. Remember, he has 100 HP, but now it's 0. Great shot from Flamey. And that should be the game here. JW does have the AK, but the low HP player has got 3 kills to find and a bomb to defuse.
No kit, no nades. Some might say no hope, and Flamey would agree. 16-7 at Na'Vi. Very impressive. But Fnatic, they can hold their heads high still, regardless of the scoreline.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. That wasn't telling the full story. That's sure. It was a 7-0 start. It does happen. It was a flying start from the likes of Zeus. So many clutches, so many shots through smokes, and shout out to him. He's actually my personal MVP, just in context of what he delivered compared to likes of Simple. Still a great game from him, but it was a lot of fun. That's probably the most entertaining game we've casted so far, and it's really telling of how this best of 3 will go. Na'Vi take the first map, and we move on next. We've got 2 more to come potentially here, and I think you should stick around, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a great series. That showed us what it's capable of, and we'll take a commercial break and see where it ends up. Don't go anywhere.
The Digital Pass, your exclusive